A crowd of over 90,000 on their feet as the green flag is about to wave on NASCAR's finest here at California Speedway.
Still outside, you.
Kurt Busch said it was very important for him to lead the first lap and get those 5 bonus points. But take a look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is making a run from lap 1 on.
Guys, we talked about Dale Earnhardt Jr. He can't mess around at all. He's got to go for it. He's got to get that thing to the front, get those bonus points, and that's what's on his mind right now. But look behind him. They're usually the third lane, the second lane. They're already all over this racetrack. They're just not completed lap 1.
Look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Very aggressive here in the early laps. You got to wonder if that engine's going to hold up. This is one of the hardest tracks on engines, and they've had their share of engine problems.
Very high, Kyle Busch way up rimline. We saw a couple of cars running way up there in the NASCAR Busch Series event here last night.
I think these guys are now just trying to get that upper groove cleaned off. It's going to take them a little while just to get some rubber laid down up there and get that where they can run way up on the racetrack. And Kyle Busch is doing that now. He's just cleaning his groove off right now.
Guys, I'm real surprised that Kyle Busch went up there this early because this track's been sitting all night long. It's dirty on top of the track. You know, that's a lot of nerve. But take a look at this. He just got that momentum off of turn 4 right down to the bottom. And if you can take advantage of it, you better go for it. And he did it.
38 behind Juan. No other pressure. Clear behind the 38.
Big concern here has to be the engines and how long the engines will live here in this oppressive heat. I guess you worry about the RPM range.
Especially when you're running up high on the racetrack like you see Kyle Busch. That makes the engine turn, quite a few more RPMs. So if you're worried about your engine, I'd want to try to keep that down a little bit. But these drivers are going to fight and try to find the fastest groove on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, Andy, worse than that, did you see that sun going into turn 3? That's what these drivers are going to fight for about an hour until that sun sets behind the grandstands or the back wall over there, enter at turn 3. Can't hardly see anything. That's going to be a tough one.
And it's only going to get worse as the sun goes down. Rusty, how do you handle that at 190 miles an hour when you suddenly come off the corner and you can't see anything but this bright light in your eyes?
But Jerry, when you come down the back straight, we got a pretty good visual of who you're following and where they're at, how far ahead of you are. And also your spotters are helping you. They're helping you quite a bit. So, hey, this is a tough thing. When I used to race here, going into turn 3, that's one thing that's always concerned me early in this race.
31 car, last night's winner, Jeff Burton, looking for that first win here at California Speedway. Dave.
And talk with Rocky Ryan, the spotter for the 31 of Jeff Burton earlier today, about how he spots differently when Jeff drives this race at this time of day with that blinding sun you guys are talking about. He said, I basically talk around his car a lot further out and in both directions. He says a lot of tracks, I don't tell Jeff what's going on way in front of him, but here I do. I tell him about the cars in front, the cars in back, much more information than I usually give him. And Jeff says, keep it coming. I'm not going to tell you to shut up.
Still there.
You know, if a spotter's starting to aggravate you, you're going to tell him to shut up. But take a look at this, side by side already. 3 wide coming down the back straightaway into turn 3. Dave Blaney on the inside.
This is 28 through about 36 here. These cars all together battling for position. The 18th is Yaley. He's in 29th position.
At the little racetrack that's as wide and smooth as this, these cars can run 3, 4 wide, no problem.
Take a look at this front straightaway. We gain a lot of speed coming down the front straightaway. You get a draft, really let your car turn more RPM and run faster, and then you dive down to that bottom groove. And this is where it gets tricky because it's awful flat down there.
Battle for position. This is for 5th spot as Kyle Busch sliding right on by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Take the 5th spot away, and now will set his sights on the 12 car of Ryan Newman. Alan.
The Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team knows that they have their work cut out for them if they're going to make this championship chase because they've got a lot of points to make up. They also know that in one race, they're not going to make up what's happened over the last 22 races. So their objectives tonight, try and maximize the points that they can gain. That means get out, try and lead laps, try and win the race or get the best finish they can. And then hope some other people have some bad luck that gives them a shot next week in Richmond. That was the conversation just before the race for the 18.
Alan, that's about all I can hope for. He just needs somebody else to blow up, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. just got to drive the race of his life. And if he can cause a failure by somebody else, which, Jerry, I don't know how you do that, but if you could, this guy's back in the game.
But it was back in the spring here in February that Earnhardt Jr. and his teammate Martin Truex both lost an engine, and Earnhardt Jr. finished 40th. Andy, he can't worry about now today?
They just got to hammer down. Don't worry about anything. This team's done a great job of performing at the racetrack. They haven't had that problem. It's just been some failures that have caused them some issues.
Brad Doherty?
Yeah, Doc, I spoke with Tony Uri Jr. this weekend, and we talked about that exact thing. I said, do you feel like you're snake bitten with your engine problems? They're running the SB2 package as opposed to the newer R07. He said, no. He says, we've had some things go wrong with our engines, and they've all just kind of added up. It's not one specific thing. So we're not concerned with that. He says, to be honest with you, Brad, I'm not even concerned with the chase. We're going to go out, we're going to do the best we can, we're going to run as hard as we can, we're going to try to lead every lap and let the chips fall where they may. That's Tony Jr.'s attitude about this whole situation.
Well, Brad, I think it's a whole team's attitude. What can they do? They just got to run the race of their life, and the whole world right now is watching the 8 car to see if he's going to get in the chase. And he's our story right now early, but he is doing just what he's got to do. He can't think about the motors and all that junk. Just drive that thing. He's doing a great job right now.
Trouble on the racetrack here. Lap number 8, the 78 car. That is Joe Nemechek, who was driving the 78, had made the show. And apparently, they must have an engine problem. We talked about how these engines are just stressed to the max here in the heat as the caution now will wave here for the first time on lap number 8.
We heard Joe Nemechek just say something broke. This track is very hard on engines, but this is still way early to be having any kind of an engine problem, only 9 laps into the race.
Show you again what happened here a moment ago. Now from the onboard camera from Juan Pablo Montoya.
290.
Boy, that's not where you want to be when you're blowing up. Juan Pablo does a good job pulling down.
Come on. You're clear. Clear. Caution. Good job.
Nemechek works it to the top side and saves the car, doesn't wreck it. But Andy, getting back to the motor on the 78 car, they build their own engine. They've been struggling with some of these motors all year long, and this is way early for having an engine problem here in California.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks, though, that really stretches them to the limit.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series at California, presented by Principal Financial. These beautiful aerial shots from high above California Speedway brought to you by our good friends at Goodyear, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for the past 25 years. Completely different lines by 3 different drivers. Kyle Busch, the 5 car, is the leader, left side of your screen. The 17 car now solidly in second place is Kenseth, and the Chevy, the car number 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in third.
Kind of the momentum is on this 8 car, how he goes by. We got a little tire rub on the 55 car, it looks like.
Looks like he might have gotten in the back of somebody. The top of the fender looks like it's knocked down on Michael's car, rubbing that tire. Take a look at Menard. Got a big run down that back straightaway up on the 55 of Michael. Michael might have to bring that thing and fix it right now, but the guy back on pace, 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr., he just got past the front of Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, I saw just a little puff of smoke off of his fender there when he dove down in the corner. That car traveled down on the fender, fender road tire.
Now it seems like the 8 cars moved up high. A lot of these guys very high. You see the 55 now trailing a lot of smoke. And Andy, how long can you as a crew chief allow that to happen before you got to call him in?
That's a little bit more smoke than I want to see. I don't mind seeing, like we saw Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car go in there and puff a little smoke when the car goes down. But you don't want to see that smoke carry all the way into the corner like we're seeing with the 55. It's just a little bit to worry, would worry me a little bit. Maybe a little too much.
We are being told from spotters that there was contact with the 88 car of Ricky Rudd. And speaking of Ricky Rudd, congratulations on a major milestone, his 900th career start. Only the second driver in NASCAR history to reach that milestone. The other one was the King Richard Petty, who logged 1,185 starts prior to his retirement. Speaking of Ricky Rudd, driver of the number 88, our Aflac trivia question: where did Ricky Rudd make his very first career NASCAR Nextel Cup Series start? What do you think, guys?
I can't answer that one. It's got to be some short track in Virginia. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Hold on to it. That thing's on fire. Got some more coming here. Hold your line. All right, come on down. Get that thing stopped. Get out of it. Get that thing stopped and get out of it.
Heavy contact.
What happened, Mark? Motor blowed up or something.
Safety crews trying to get out to Michael Waltrip quickly. We saw the tire rubbing.
The flames are getting into 3.
Michael is yet to get out of the car. The flames are there. They're trying to get to him. They have a sense of urgency to get him out of the car. Here comes the fire extinguishers. Michael finally trying to get out. The Hans device and some of the connections have him hung there. They're trying to pull him out of the car, and Michael is a very big guy. Over 6'5", 250 pounds, and they finally get him out of the car, and they get the flames extinguished.
Well, it really looked like he struggled getting out of the car. It took a lot longer than I would anticipate that happening, and he's breathing all that fumes, all the stuff from the fire extinguisher, but Mike looks pretty good right now.
I was worried about that left front tire rubbing. Just rubbing just a little more than I'd like to see it.
Yeah, before I say anything, I want to see the replay, see what's going on, because Andy, that left front was smoking hard. Let's take a look at him getting down the back straightaway and see what happened here.
Heard the spotter say something blue. It must have been, it was that left front tire, looks like. And boy, he just took, what did I get, an oil line?
Yeah, that's what the spotter said. It looked like it blew an engine, and that's the reason he said that, because that tire blew out and probably sheared an oil line off the oil pump or something on the engine, and that's what made all this fire.
You know, they always tell you when you're starting to learn how to drive, and NASCAR tells you also, guys, if you got a tire rub, it's generally not going to get better. Get it in and fix it. But he thought that maybe it might go away, and it didn't. Boy, big explosion on the left front tire, oil lines, everything, and what a tough deal.
Hold on to it. That thing's on fire. Got some more coming here. Hold your line. All right, come on down. Get that thing stopped. Get out of it.
Watch the window net.
Stop and get out of it.
He's trying to get the window net down in a hurry.
More. Harder blowed up or something.
You can see fire coming up in the cockpit, probably from the shifter tunnel or something inside the car there. There's a lot of heat inside that car. These guys wear fire protective clothing, and that's what probably saved Michael from getting burned or hurt worse in this car, and that gave him time to get out.
Well, when the tire blew, guys, it was so violent, it just caught on fire immediately, and he didn't hit the wall hard or anything. He just kind of slammed it a little bit, but right now he's disoriented. There's smoke inside the car. He can't see. His spotter's helping him to slow down and get the car stopped. And Mike did hear enough to get the window net down, which is really good, but again, good job getting that thing in.
Thank you, Brandon. The one car, that is Martin Truex Jr. there. He is currently 9th in the point standings. As why don't we get you up to date on what's happening among the lead cars, starting with our leader, the 5 car of Kyle Busch and Dave Burns.
As you might expect, he's very happy with his race car right now, Doc. This weekend has been different for this team. Alan Gustafson, crew chief, told me this morning, this is the first time we've had the luxury of doing some experimentation on a given weekend. A strong top 10 run last week, all but assured them a place in the chase. So we tried a few things this weekend just to experiment, and a few of them have paid off. Alan?
Martin Truex Jr. started the race in 8th position. He has moved up now to the number 2 spot, 158 points ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr., whom he's racing with for that spot now. And ironically enough, that's the guy he needs to beat to lock in his place in the chase. No complaints about this number 1 car so far for Truex Jr. As for Earnhardt Jr., the last 5 laps have been almost a non-stop stream of descriptions about his car on the team radio to his crew chief, Tony Eury Jr. Right now, although you wouldn't know it because he's moving up and passing people, Earnhardt Jr. doesn't sound terribly happy with the way that race car is driving. Jamie?
Alan, behind him is Matt Kenseth. He just actually came over the radio to Robbie Reiser, his crew chief, and said, this car started off good, but it's so loose, I'm about to wreck. You see him running on that inside line right now. Robbie Reiser just told him, if you can't hang on, you got to come in, but if you can hang on, just stay out for me. Alan?
And the early leader of the race, the driver who started on pole, Kurt Busch, one of the guys trying to lock in his place in the chase tonight. Kurt, remember, got shuffled back as far as 15th by some pit strategy that others took earlier in the race. Right now, the back end of his car sliding around the racetrack, also losing the front end at different spots in the corner. And Kurt not as strong lap time-wise as he was before. Right?
Jimmy Johnson made a rare appearance in the Busch Series last night here at the California Speedway, but from that he took a little bit of information. He said he found out how the high line would work for him. That's where he's been most of the night. This morning I spoke with Chad Knaus. He said his big concern was getting this car to turn in the middle. They've achieved that. The problem is, the car's just a little bit too loose right now. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart, he's never won here at the California Speedway. In fact, his best finish has been 8th, but the track conditions are very much to his liking. He likes it when it gets hot and slick. because of the car control. He learned this quite a bit back in his dirt tracking days. It's working out pretty well for him right now as he's running very solid in the top 10. Alan?
And an update on Casey Mears, who's running in 8th place now. Bakersfield, California native. This is about 160 miles from his hometown. Casey did not pit at lap 24. He did pit at lap 41. He started the race with a car he felt very comfortable in, and they're solidly in the top 10 right now. Dave?
31 car of Jeff Burton running just behind them. Jeff has been fighting a car that's been just a little bit loose in and tight overall. Jeff actually pretty happy with his car most of the weekend. Right behind him, Jeff Gordon, trying to stay on the same page with crew chief Steve Letarte. They made some changes to the car to make it work better through the center of the corner, but Steve reminding his driver, you know what, make sure you tell me if you are changing your entry to make the center of the corner better. Don't let me over adjust and mess up a different line you might be trying. Guys?
Great update, guys, in the top 10 here. But one of the cars that we're talking about that a lot of people were concerned with as far as the race to the chase is the 29 car of Kevin Harvick from nearby Bakersfield, California. Now, there's Harvick. He qualified 12th. He is being shown back in the 18th position, and now he has fallen from 10th in the points right now all the way back to 12th, just 101 points in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Alan?
And they have been fighting a lack of front-end grip on this 29 car all race long, Doc, which when you get in a situation like this, when you close up behind someone, just gets exaggerated even more. They've made a few adjustments on the pit stops they've made. Kevin wants them to go a little bit more again on the next pit stop. Try and get that car faster.
19 of Elliott Sadler came down across the racetrack a moment ago. The former winner here picked up his third career win at this racetrack. And a slowed abruptly now going beneath the line on the apron.
Jerry's got a right front flat. He just nurses this thing back, and that's what he has to do. If he goes too fast, that tire's going to explode and tear the right front fender off it. So he can only go so quick. The tire's ready to come apart right now. And we saw what happened to Michael Waltrip. If you go too quick, he could just explode that right front corner, but Elliott knows that. He's on pit road right now.
Set for the restart here at California Speedway. The 70 car moving down. The 1 car behind him, Truex Jr. is the leader. Earnhardt, the 8 car is second, and the 5 of Kyle Busch is third.
First lap, 2 cars in front of you on the bottom, Clear low, clear low, clear low.
And boy, he just opened the door right there. Truex did. He went to go around the outside of the 70 car of Sauter. Man, he just committed to the top, and then 8 car had to go to the bottom. That really helped him. Now, clean air, guys. That's what it's all about here at California Speedway, and Junior's got that right now. Really makes the car handle a lot better.
Seems like Junior's better after they run a few laps. This 5 car right on the restart has been the fastest car. Then after they run 5-10 laps, it looks like Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car gets better. It's going to be interesting to see now how he can handle this car in clean air.
You know, I see the 1 car and 8 car running so close together out here. Makes me think about all the engine problems they've had. And these engines they've had a lot of engine problems. And so Junior can't stand any more of that problem right now with the position he's running in. Alan?
And Rusty, during that caution flag, while he was running around the racetrack, Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a long conversation with his crew chief, Tony Uri Jr., and he said, I'm not going to be your best friend tonight. I'm going to complain a lot about the car. I'm going to complain about the conditions because it's hot out here, it's tough racing, and I'm just not going to be your friend tonight. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny, Alan. And a little comedy as well with the 5 crew. Kyle Busch trying to keep his guys loose on the first pit stop, first round. They just killed him. Those were Kyle's words. On this last pit stop, they lost a couple of spots. And just trying to keep them loose. He said, that's all right, guys. It felt like a good stop. But then Alan Gustin reminded him that they made some significant changes on that car, slowed him down just a little bit, and that's why he lost a couple of spots on pit road.
Thanks, guys. The 5 car is very good, as you guys mentioned, on the restart. Dale Earnhardt Jr. now trying to hang in that bottom line, but we're running along with a car that has really been awfully good here the last 10 laps. That is last night's winner, Jeff Burton.
Looks like they got his car tuned up on that last pit stop, too. He's been hanging around the top 10, top 5, but he's now up here challenging these guys for the lead.
You just wondered how fast these cars go. There's 202 miles an hour going into turn 1. Last night, the Busch race, we saw about 195, so just a little bit slower for the Busch series than the Cup guys here. But Andy, that's a lot of speed carrying down into turn 1, and it's pretty hot out there with no grip.
Watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. in second spot. More, DJ?
Yeah, just thinking about what Junior was telling Tony Uri Jr. there. I bet if he can make his car as he tries to take the lead here again, I bet if he can get that car to victory lane for it, he can probably find him a seat on his jet going home and get him home a lot faster than he would if he can get him to victory lane.
That's not a bad point. It's a long way home. If you can get a jet ride home, hey, that's what it's all about. It's we've been here in California for a long time. It's been really hot. But hey, look at this action. 3 wide. Come off of turn 2, and that's the flat portion of the track. Oh, that's tight.
Bottom, middle, and top. It's the Jeff Burton sandwich. Earnhardt Jr. goes all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, jams the throttle, and takes the lead away from the 31 and the 5 car.
We said Junior's got to run the race of his life. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to go for it, and that's what he's doing right now. They've got the 5 points. Now he's going for the most laps led. If they can stay up with the chassis, he's going to have a good finish tonight.
I love this format. You got these guys up the front racing hard. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is racing for his life right here, trying to make that top 12 in points. And then you got Jeff Burton back here. He wants to get another win. He wants to try to get some extra bonus points when this thing does go into the chase. So I just love it. He's got a lot of motivation for these guys to go out there and win races.
Dave?
And talked with Jeff Burton and crew chief Scott Miller in the hauler today before the race, and they were talking about how they came into this weekend attitude-wise. Wanted to try just a few things. I said, well, did you make anything significant game-wise? And Jeff said, no, not really, but it got us to thinking about things we might try next week, things we might try 2 weeks down the road, things we have tried here and didn't work out. It got our minds working on other stuff we could do. And as we mentioned, they have the luxury in the space they are in this race to the chase.
Well, right now, Jimmy Johnson, just his last time by, was equaling the leader of Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now in speed. And the track's changing. But one thing I'm noticing, guys, is the sun. Coming down the back straight, we're starting to get really bad on these drivers.
Jimmy Johnson has not led a lap today. He is a native Californian from nearby El Cajon down near San Diego. Ran the NASCAR Busch Series race last time, and his second start in the Busch Series, and now moving to the inside of the 31 car for 3rd position. There's Jimmy Johnson all the way down on the bottom of the racetrack, and up front there side by side is the 5 car in Earnhardt, Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Earnhardt Jr. can't get much closer to the wall than he was a moment ago.
Yeah, Junior's thinking, Kyle Busch, you're aggravating me. I'm so tired of having you. Hey, look at this sun. Really blinding sun. It's going to get worse, guys. Right in the windshield of these drivers, and it's really hard to see. Now, that's not real bad right there, but it's going to get worse. Dave?
And his crew chief on Jeff Burton's car, Rocky Ryan, telling him single file going in. That's good information as the sun gets in your eyes there. You need to know what the cars look like because you can't see all of them. But Jeff Burton may have a right rear tire going down. That was his self-evaluation. And he's now complaining about being loose in the car as well. So that's what alerted him. He's monitoring it. And we got a crash, guys.
Trouble on the racetrack, the 7 car of Robbie Gordon. And rolled right across the racetrack and almost caught the right side of another car who was down on the apron. Robbie Gordon had been running so well in that 7 car.
Get on in here. Let's take it right to the garage. Take the
That's about as fast as I ever seen any car go down the racetrack backwards against the wall.
That was your...
He looked like he was running as fast backwards, Andy, as he was forward a little while ago. That was incredible how quick he was going.
But it felt fast, too, going backwards.
Yeah.
Robbie Gordon from Orange, California, one of the 7 California natives running here. He will turn in onto pit road at the very end down toward turn 1.
He's running about 140 miles an hour backwards at this point right now. The front end flies back around in the car right now, barely misses some of the oncoming cars. But boy, when he lost that car, that thing turned around on a dime and just flew down against this wall as it goes past us now. That's very unusual looking. When I was watching that, I went, man, don't believe I've ever seen anybody that quick.
That was our in-race reporter, Clint Bowyer, in the 07, involved in this also.
Up there scraping along that wall. Looks like he's going to have some damage also too. That right front corner tore up pretty good, but it looks like the suspension's okay, Andy. So if they can pull those fenders out, get them off the tires, not lose a lap, he's back in the hunt.
All about momentum, and here they come down with a lot of momentum, taking the green flag again. Kyle Busch, older brother Kurt Busch, Earnhardt Jr., Jimmie Johnson, and Jeff Burton in the top 5.
Kyle Busch has been so strong in these restarts. He gets a lot of run, a lot of bite, and he just jumps out like he's doing right now. But the number 2 car of Kurt Busch, I've been looking at that car throughout the day. The nose on that car is very, very low to the ground, getting the best downforce, best aerodynamics. Pat Trice and his guys have really worked it out, where they figured out how to keep that car down and make it turn good. And that's what they really had to have about 4 or 5 races ago at Pocono, and they won that race. And that's one of the main reasons they brought this car here to California.
How does that happen? How do you struggle for the first 20 races of the year and suddenly you find something and then you're just almost unbeatable? You dominate Pocono, you get a great win at Michigan, and how does the light switch flip that quickly in a race team?
It's all about personnel, Jerry. It's all about working together and finding the right partner to work with. And Pat Trison has really lit that team up. He's kind of an old school crew chief that was able to take some of the engineers and make them work together. And DJ, I got to tell you, you and I have had several different crew chiefs, and they're all different, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, Rusty, but Pat Trison, as you said, has done a terrific job, and sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a change. But I remember Pat Trison saying after Pocono that they had that car in the wind tunnel, and they saw something that was a little different than what he had seen with the Fords, and he applied some of his knowledge from Roush Racing for a lot of years to that Dodge, and it seems to have really helped them. And you were talking earlier about why they wouldn't have brought the Michigan car maybe. I think the Pocono car probably had made a little more downforce and maybe a little more side force, and with this not having quite as much banking, it gives it a lot better feel here at this speedway.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was talking to Trison, and Trison said, you know, I know what the Ford wind tunnel numbers are, and this Dodge has got every bit as much, if not more downforce than that Ford did. So Kurt Busch and Pat talked and said, we need more rear downforce. So they put a lot of attention to the back of that car, and evidently they found the right combination.
Got a glimpse a moment ago of great battles back here. The 31 car of Jeff Burton battling with the 8 car of Earnhardt Jr. for 3rd position. Now Jimmie Johnson goes by Earnhardt Jr. right up in front of him, and that is for 4th and 5th.
Junior's struggling right now with these tires. He's got about 13 laps more on his tires than these other guys, and he's just struggling trying to find grip and trying to hold his spot up here. Mike?
Well, you guys were talking about Kurt Busch not bringing the winning car from Michigan. Well, Jimmie Johnson and Chad Knaus elected to not do the same thing. In fact, the car they're racing tonight is the car they destroyed in Chicago back in July. This car's been rebuilt, new front clip, new rear clip. Chad Knaus just felt like it was a much better race car to bring here to Fontana. Okay?
Mike, directly in front of him runs Jeff Burton, currently being shown in the 3rd position. Now, in that last caution, when he got into the back of Ryan Newman, one of the things he was talking about was stacking up behind him. The 83 car of Brian Vickers was right behind him. Jeff felt like if he would have lifted, he might have caused a bigger wreck, i.e. more cars, including himself, and that's why he stayed in the gas when he did. Might have felt just a little tap from the 83 and behind, but he didn't get spun. That's kind of why he got into Newman. Russ, you've had that happen before where it's better just to stay in it maybe than to let off and cause a big wreck?
Well, if Jeff Burton would have got out of the throttle more, he would have got rear-ended and spun around, just like Jeff was saying on his replay. So they all did a good job, and unfortunately the 12 car is the one that got the worst end of that deal, but he didn't get much damage. He's back in the hunt. He's okay. And Jeff kind of looks like he did last night in the Busch race, working the bottom of the track. Got a good car.
Looking pretty racy right here. He's already raced around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now he's going around these other guys. Went around Kurt Busch in the 2 car. Looking pretty strong.
Now, this is the time of night right now. It's just starting to set. The sun is.
Yeah, the track's starting to make a little bit of a change. Going through that transition period, I call it, when the sun starts getting that low on the track. You don't really, you get a big change in the track temperature. And these cars that are set up for these for the darkness are now starting to come to light.
Well, you're absolutely right. I can just look outside right now and feel it, that the track is cooling down. The outside air temperature, folks, might not be a lot different, but the track temperature itself is definitely getting cooler, and that makes the cars handle a lot different. And this is the time of the day where the drivers are thinking, now my car's going to change. It's going to go loose or it's going to go tight, and I've got to keep up with the changing track conditions.
And right now, I'm getting on the radio with my driver saying, hey, what's your car doing now? I want to know what it's doing right through this transition, just to kind of get an idea of what to do later in the race here.
Because I don't believe this track is going to change very slow. I think it's going to be a pretty fast change right now.
The 31 car of Jeff Burton. We're talking about how good his car is getting. Well, last night when the sun went down, Jeff Burton's car got really good, really great. As a matter of fact, that's our Crown Royal crowning moment. The 29 car of Jeff Burton made the pass on the 5 car of Kyle Busch down the back straightaway. A handful of laps to go, and Burton would set sail and pick up his 3rd NASCAR Busch Series win of the year. His 25th career win puts him 4th all-time in Busch as a winner. Great update on what's happened thus far here in the first 145 laps at California Speedway. We talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the effort he's putting in. Realistically, guys, you guys have been around this race for a long time. How much would he need to cut it tonight to have a legitimate shot at Richmond next Saturday night?
If I were those guys, I would want to see that thing below 100 points, and quite a bit below 100 points going into Richmond, because that's the only thing. If you're over 100, it's not going to be realistic to be able to make it up in one race.
Now, right now, he's 104 out of it. He's cut it pretty big time. It's 54 points since he started this race, but man, he better be careful at that top of that wall. He's been rim riding that thing lap after lap, and that's starting to concern me there.
Remember, the last win he had was at Richmond back in the spring of a year ago. He's very good at that racetrack, but why is he in the situation he's in? Because of engine problems. He has had 5 DNFs, 4 of which have taken place due to engine. And remember, he also had a 100-point penalty because of a bracket on the spoiler at Darlington. That cost him 100 points, and folks, without that penalty, he'd be 4 points out of 12 spots right now. How big is that here with 2 events to go in the race to the chase? DJ?
We talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr., the job that he is doing, and how difficult it is to gain points here, and he's still a little over 100 points if the race were to end right now. But with as many cars as we have on the lead lap, still 35 cars right now on the lead lap, a flat tire by one of those guys, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, the 1 car or the 07 car, you could really change this dramatically. So as long as he continues to do his job, as we've seen throwing up dust up on the top side right now, things could change in a real hurry because we have so many guys on the lead lap at this point. He's just going for broke. He's driving his car so hard. He's all the way up against the wall. You see the rooster tails, that sand up next to the wall, he just keeps kicking up. We saw guys last night trying to get up there and float over that wall, end up spinning out and crashing.
But right now, he's not giving himself an out. He's just running so close against the wall. I got a replay here I want to show you. Let's take a look from earlier when he was running really close to the top. He's really flirting with it. Look at this. He gets into turn 1, right up in the gray. Whoa.
Back inside, back inside. Got in there a little deep.
So he got in there a little deep. And when you get in a little deep, that wall comes at you awful fast. And, we saw Denny Hamlin do that last night and spin. The pit stops are just starting to come around right now. 16 car, Greg Biffle.
Mike?
And last time down pit road, remember, Greg Biffle took just right side tires and made a track bar adjustment. Expect them to make a 4-tire change this time. A wedge adjustment as well on the left side, as you saw. A pretty significant one, too. At least 2 turns there. They move around to the left side of the car, now making the moves there. Changing rubber. Dropping off the jacket, away goes Greg Biffle.
That's it. Watch your speed all the way down to the cone.
But Greg Biffle has struggled so bad. He's got himself a lap down,
4900
and that car has not been handling. That's very unlikely for what you normally see with Greg Biffle. He's one of the best drivers out there, but just been really struggling with this car.
He's gambling a little bit here, trying to short pit on these guys. I think these leaders can go about 8 or 10 more laps, and so he's trying to get in here and short pit, maybe get a few laps on him, and try to get some. If the caution doesn't come out, he'll be able to gain some ground.
Now, short pitting, what do you mean by that?
That means just pit before the gas tank runs dry, and you just get in there and get you some tires, because these tires really, there's a lot to be gained by getting 4D tires on the car. You can gain up to a second and a half.
And that's a good feel, because when you short pit and you go out there in those fresh tires and those guys are still out there in the old tires, you're gaining so much track position. And that's what Greg Biffle and his team are trying to do right now. And that's a great explanation, because that's what he needs to do right now. He's kind of in trouble.
1 car of Martin Truex Jr. having a really good run, similar to what he had up in Michigan a couple of weeks ago on a track almost identical to this. 26 in the pits in front of you, Alan.
Jamie McMurray struggling. Mitch about typifies the way that their summer has been so far, Doc. They have had all kinds of trouble since about the 1st of July. A number of crashes, some different problems. The crew chief, Larry Carter, said they hope they can turn it around with a good run tonight. right. What has statistically been one of Jamie McMurray's very best racetracks.
You know, they won at Daytona in a really exciting finish right there, won by about 4 or 5 inches. And he's been struggling ever since. And the Chevrolets at this racetrack seem like they're so strong, it's unreal, guys. I just haven't seen any other brands. The top 5 right now at Chevrolet is so strong. The Ford's been struggling here, but Casey came on pit road right now. Mike?
Casey Kane's main complaint tonight, very loose. You know, their expectations were pretty modest coming into this race. I spoke with Kenny Francis before the race began. He said if they could finish on the lead lap, that would be a success. So if you were wondering if Gillette Everyday Motorsports was completely back, that should answer your question. They've been struggling mightily throughout the night. A 4-tire change on the 9.
These are the kind of racetracks that this team's been struggling on, too. It's these big downforce racetracks with the old car. The Car Tomorrow program seems to be pretty good for this team. They really struggle with this car on these big tracks this year.
And you wonder why that is, because they've been so strong in the mile and a halves last year. In fact, dominating. 21 car on pit road, Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott, a 12-time most popular driver in the sport, getting service on his car. And the 99 of Carl Edwards in front of you, Jamie Little.
And last up, they made up 2 positions. Right now, Carl said his car is loose around the bottom, but tight up top. So they're just going to make an air pressure adjust all 4 tires, fuel and tires, and that's all, guys. He came in and he was safe. Carl Edwards is away.
And now finally the 5 car of Kyle Busch, who has led 6 times for 88 laps. He will come down with just 97 laps to go at California Speedway. Kyle Busch won here back in the fall of 2005 at the age of 20 years old. Dave.
And one thing they notice on this car, as the track gets cooler, a little looser this race car gets, so they're going to make a chassis adjustment as well as a air pressure adjustment, perhaps. Trying to tighten this car up just a bit for Kyle Busch. He comes in the leader. Let's see where it cycles out. Alan.
Dale Jr. pits from second place. Going to be a 4-tire change here. He said as the conditions have cooled, his car has begun to turn better. He's having a good time out there.
Go hard to the wall. Go. To the wall.
Johnson complaining the car's a little bit loose, but there might be a bigger concern. Chad Canals telling him to turn both batteries on. There may be electrical concerns on the 48.
Both batteries turning them on. You watch the Martin Truex car. Truex, who's had great runs recently, and second in Michigan, the 11th last week at Bristol. Hanging tough in the top 10 in the points, trying to get in the chase. Jeff Burton is in, Dave.
One of the main things he wanted was to get the rear of the car into the track board. You can't see the rear of the car there, but they're going to make adjustments, track bar and air pressure, trying to get a better feel for Jeff so that rear grip works better for the 31 driver right now. Fourth earlier coming in. We'll see where this cycles out as well for Jeff. Allen.
And Denny Hamlin brings the FedEx car down pit road. He had been kind of struggling when the sun was out and it was warm, but as the track conditions have cooled, he's been moving up. He was in 12th position just before the sequence of pit stops begins. It's a 4-tire change here for the 11th car. And there is Kurt Busch, who also comes down pit road. He has really been slipping back. Kurt has fallen back as far as 15th spot. Remember, this was the guy that started on pole and led a lot in the opening laps. Jamie?
David Ruderman, the 00, having the race of his night. Started 28th, went all the way to the lead before succumbing to the pit stop. He said he's bad in the center. He's really loose, but guys, he continues to fight. We'll see where this Toyota ends up at the end of the night. Trouble in front of David Ruderman.
Well, the 41 car coming in really sideways like that and almost blocked David in the pits. He got out pretty good. These pits are pretty wide. These are some of the longest pit roads and widest pit roads we have on the circuit here.
41 car, they try to get the car pushed back and right, it was nosed in against the wall.
That car may have been low on fuel. He couldn't get it started after the pit stop.
Yeah, very well could have been. He got in a little hot, got the car in kind of sideways, but slid for a while, but still had a long enough pit not to cross over the line and not get a penalty.
Watch Reed Sorensen's car move back out. I'll mention you saw the pit stop a moment ago with David Ruderman, and Jamie mentioned he had led. He did indeed lead a lap. The first time the double zero has led a lap this year. Heard Dale Jarrett talking about what a great young man he is and how much talent he's got. speaking of great talent, the 5 car. Kyle Busch, can he drive a loose race car or what? He is sideways in the corner, just dirt tracking, but he is leading here at California Speedway.
Green flag, come on. Add away. No, on your bumper. Everything's sorted out. Right on your run, 18 coming at you. Still down. Clear. Oh, got a ride coming back. Still clear. Good job. He's on your bumper. Clear low. Way on him, man. One back coming inside, 18. Still out there. Come on, barely there. Clear, you're good. You're clear. Still outside. Careful, just keep working on him. Coming hard outside.
Whoa, great effort up front. The 5 car right on the back of the Toyota of Vickers, pushing him down the straightaway into turn 1.
Well, he threaded the needle on that one. 3 wide, right down the center. He was the last one to get out of the throttle. And remember, the 83 car, Brian Vickers, only 2 tires, and he's not going to handle as well as Jimmy Johnson, the 5 car, Kyle Busch, who've both got 4 tires. Put brand new tires all the way around. That gives you better grip. Look at Johnson to the bottom of the track right now. Shortest way around. Johnson's back on track. 42.50 that last lap for Jimmy Johnson. The Kyle Busch is 42.85. About 0.3 faster that last time by.
Guys starting to turn the wick up here in the final 80 laps at California Speedway. One of the big concerns was the engine life. Back in the spring, we had 5 major teams lose engines here in the last half of the Nextel Cup event at California because it just puts that much wear and tear on the power plant.
And stepping it up right now, too. These guys are racing each other pretty hard for position. We're in that part of the race where everybody's going to try to get what they can get.
I'll tell you who's looked alive. Is Reed Sorensen, that 41 car. He's looking good right now. This car's got a good handling car, but he's a lap down, and he's really working hard for that lucky dog to try to get it back. So, boy, when you see those guys are right there to get that lucky dog, and it's like they pick the throttle up and run the lap of their life. Oh, they're really getting it right now.
29 car, Kevin Harvick. We told you he had dropped all the way back to 12th position because of where he's running on the racetrack, and now they're sailing by him. You see the 20 car and the 2. This is the onboard camera from Tony Stewart on the inside of the 29 car. That is for 14th, 15th, and 16th position.
That last pit stop that Kevin Harvick made, that was a key one for him. He had a time to adjust his car, new tires, adjustments to get it better. If it's not better now, they're probably in trouble.
Kevin Harvick, by virtue of being shown back in 15th position now, and he can ill afford to lose any more spots. He certainly can't allow Tony Stewart or Bobby Labonte to go by because right now he is 12th in the point standings, 129 points ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Guy looks like he's really slipping. Can't get any momentum right now. It's a 2 car, Kurt Busch. Car's not handling like it was early in the race. Alan?
Hit you on a couple things here, Rusty, if you want. First, Kevin Harvick. He said his car was pretty good when they came down pit road for that last stop. He came to pit road in 17th spot, picked up a few positions on the pit lane. Now they're kind of sliding back to where they were. As for Kurt Busch, he had fallen well back. He said, if we don't do something, we're not going to have a shot at winning this. So they took some extra time on the pit road to make an adjustment to the right rear shock absorber. That's why he lost all those spots on the pit stop, and he's back in the middle of the mess here.
He's either loose or tight, and on a shock absorber, he can get underneath and make an adjustment that's definitely going to make that car handle better. So he's probably working on that. And whoa, the 40 car out of it, down the back straightaway, almost got run over.
1 point differential. You see there, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick.
Got a caution on the racetrack right now.
Caution being waved for there's a piece of the tire that probably came off the 41 car. Caution number 10 on the night here on lap 174.
See this right here. It's like the tire's already down. He's up in the high groove, and these guys are avoiding him.
And for a while there, I thought it was a 40 car, David Stremme, that had that tire come off, but it was his teammate, Reed Sorensen. You see the cap rolls across right now. And he did a good job keeping the thing up out of the way.
Now, 2 laps prior, you talked about there's possibly could have been some contact. This was 2 laps ago, the 8 car and the 41.
This is just what I kind of suspected. When you get a tire come apart like that, it's usually from some kind of contact, just like this right here, and it just knocks maybe the valve stem loose, maybe just cuts the sidewall of the tire a little bit, and then the air goes out of it and makes that tire come apart. That was actually the tread rubber of the tire that came off.
Just waving the green flag, and they sail by into turn 1. Jimmy Johnson, the leader. Kyle Busch up on the high side. Carl Edwards in the 99 car trying to make some noise down for Roush Fenway Racing. Jeff Burton, the 31, in 3rd position, and Earnhardt Jr. there in the top 5.
Well, Carl Edwards had an early mishap with a pit road wreck, and he's rebounded from that right now. He's been working on his car throughout the night. He's got himself up in the 3rd position. And right now, this racetrack's probably at maximum grip. It's about as cool as it's going to get with 73 laps to go. It might cool down a little bit, but not much. Had some right front fender damage in that 99 car. They pulled it out, got the downforce back in that car. Kept working on every single pit stop, but now he's got that car back up to speed. In fact, that last time by, he was just about the same speed as the 2nd place car of Kyle Busch.
Jeff Burton, who won the NASCAR Busch Series race here last night. Car got very good as the race went on. Again here tonight, inside of 75 laps to go. Being shown now in the 3rd position. Whoa, contact back there, the 00. Jeff Gordon is involved as well, Rudeman. Kevin Harvick somehow gets through. David Gilliland is involved, the 88 of Ricky Rudd.
Looks like Jeff Gordon made it through. He's got some damage on the left front fender. He's bouncing through the grass right now, Gordon is. David Rudeman, heavy damage on the front of his car.
There's Gordon, the 3-time winner here and current points leader. There's the 88 car of Ricky Rudd, making his 900th career start. Not the way he wanted to note this landmark in his career, sitting in the grass here in the front straightaway in the Trot Oval area.
It's like Jeff Gordon just got in the side of Jeremy Mayfield, shot up the track, and Jeff got slight damage on the left front. It looks like not near as much as I thought.
And Kevin Harvick just shoots right through the gap, makes it through this wreck.
That could have been disastrous for Kevin Harvick, trying to hang on to a spot in the chase.
Inside back here, wrecking behind us.
You see David Rudeman didn't see that coming. He was on the top side of the racetrack when Gordon got into Jeremy Mayfield, knocked him up into David Rudeman, and Jeff must have really got loose.
Come on, hustle, nobody. You're good.
Dave?
Clear up, big wreck behind you. Hell of a job.
And yeah, guys, Jeff Gordon came on the radio right after that, talking to crew chief Steve Letare. He said, my fault.
Sights and sounds of the school of hard knocks and hard hits, California Speedway style. Getting set for the restart. Jimmy Johnson will lead him down. Kyle Busch chomping at the bit. The 31 car of Jeff Burton, Carl Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. in the 5th position. As they come down to the restart, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, diving on the pit road. Here's the battle up front for the lead, and Kyle Busch trying to take it away in turn 1.
And Jimmy Johnson pins him down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Johnson's got that momentum on the top side, gets past him.
Looks like Jimmy Johnson's car is really good on new tires.
It really is. In the 5 car, he just gets such a run on those restarts, Andy. That time he committed to the bottom of the track, and now he's going to commit to the top of the track, but Jimmy is pinned down there, and that's where his car has been working the best throughout the night. Hendrick teammate cars, same engines, same horsepower probably. But the 5-car driver, Kyle Busch, he doesn't care about Jimmy Johnson right now. He's going to a new team. He's like, I'm going to win this thing.
Jimmy Johnson, 4 times he won this year. All 4 of his wins coming in the first 10 races of the year. The 15 car, Paul Menard, his Chevrolet. And they have had an eventful night on and off the racetrack. Dave?
Well, on pit road, one of the things the crews do is they look at their television replays to see what happens during a pit stop. Go ahead and roll that, guys. Here's what happened in the last bit. TJ Ford is a jack man. Watch the 40 car coming around. He gets clipped. David Stremme was pitting. He unfortunately got too close to TJ. TJ gets up. He finishes the stop. Look at him come around to the left side of the car and completes his pit stop. But immediately, he went over to track first responders, and they have taken him to the infield care centers to take a look at that right knee. But good pickup for TJ, and you can see he's in pain. We just want to let you know that too, because his dad hasn't been contacted yet. And Dad, if you're watching this race and your cell phone's not on, get in touch with the team, because TJ's okay. He'd like to talk to you.
Well, that was a very close call. Great report, Dave. Showing exactly how these guys are in a danger zone. Andy, you were there many, many years going over the wall, pitting the cars for Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant and others.
I was real lucky. I've been over that wall many times, and those guys, even though they have pit road speed, they still have, a lot of danger that they're in over there.
Now, Tony Stewart, he's made a shock adjustment on the back of the start. Probably took rebound out of the back, or put compression in, which takes and lowers the front of the car, makes it stick better. And that's what Tony's been complaining about. And he's going to have to see now if that change was what he wanted. I heard earlier he was trying to talk his crew chief into doing something.
This is 15, 16, 17, the 29 car of Kevin Harvick being shown in 16th position. McMurray in the 26th car was 16th. He's been passed. Tony Stewart now going by him for 17th spot.
4 wide off turn 4.
And Tony Stewart in the middle of that really makes your car loose, and he was holding on to that baby. But I believe he's going to get a good draft on his front straightaway and try to make the pass on Kevin Harvick getting into turn 1 if he can get that front end to stick.
Update on Ricky Rudd. We are being told he has been transported by ground ambulance for further evaluation after that hard driver's side impact into the wall. You saw him get out of the car and walk away holding that left arm and left shoulder area.
Well, it's a good pass on Stewart just then. He really used his teammate to help out and block that 29 back on that last move. Well, these guys are locked up in a battle right now. A.J. Allmendinger on the top side of the track. Harvick trying to get back in this thing.
Like Jeff Burton's taking over the second spot now from Kyle Busch.
Yeah, his lap times, Andy, are pretty good. He's about a 10th off of Johnson right now. That's probably the strongest I've seen Jeff Burton throughout the night. And that's another car that keeps adjusting on it, getting it better and better.
Jeff Burton's one of the best I've ever seen at getting his car adjusted right and being where he needs to be at the end of the race.
He's a real cool guy, real cool character, about his changes, real methodical, the way he changes things, and it paid out for him last night.
Jimmy Johnson, our leader, led 3 times for 42 laps. Jeff Burton in second. Carl Edwards is third. Or check that Carl Edwards has just been passed just a moment ago by the 5 car of Kyle Busch. Dave?
And car owner Rick Hendrick has been on top of the box all during this race. Kyle leading about half of it. Falling back just a little bit right now. Rick Hendrick wanting to encourage his team to get Kyle to the finish here at California.
Hey, bud, you're doing a great job. Don't take any unnecessary chances. We want to be in the chase, and we'd like to win this thing, but we want a good finish. Yeah, roger that. You guys have done a super job tonight. I mean, pit crew, everybody. Drove the wheels off that thing, man. Finish it up.
And you heard Rick imploring these guys, we want to be in the chase. They're pretty well into it, but anything can happen. And mathematically, they didn't come in here as a lock. So Rick trying to say, this thing isn't over. It's a long race. You may have led a bunch of it, but you need to carry it home.
And when that voice comes across from Rick Hendrick, that is like the voice of God. Everybody understands his voice and appreciates him talking to his crew. They love working for this man. Rick is just a fantastic individual, and all his cars have been running good all year long. And when he says that, Jerry, you know that he's seeing something that might be going wrong, and he's trying to calm everybody down just a little bit.
Kyle Busch needs to finish 25th or better tonight to guarantee himself a spot in the chase. Obviously, he's running in 3rd position right now if they don't make a major mistake, as you heard Rick Hendrick talking about. 12 car, Ryan Newman, and he is down on the inside of the apron. He's one of the drivers.
Pretty good because it cooled up to 188 right away.
He was trying to get in. He was in 14th position in the points, just behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., coming in here just 17 points back, and this is really going to hurt him and his opportunity or any chance to get in the race for the chase.
Sounded to me like you were talking about an engine problem here, and it looks like he's riding around with no power. If I'm the guys on that 2 car, I'd be a little bit concerned about this, seeing my teammate have an engine problem.
Well, he had a problem in yesterday's Busch race, and talking to me, broke a spark plug. They thought that maybe they broke a valve spring or an internal part of the engine. And after they investigated, they said, Rusty, it was a broken spark plug, and they haven't had that happen forever. But he was talking about water temperature and Andy, so I guess something engine-related.
55 laps to go here at California Speedway. Jimmie Johnson, the California kid, homecoming this week down at El Cajon to his own high school. He is showing the way here over Kyle Busch.
2 races left until we get to the chase. In fact, 1 and 50 laps is exactly where we are, and Jimmie Johnson's having some homecoming. Scored his first career victory here in April of 2002 in his 13th start. Dale, he's cruising right now.
Yeah, when the sun went down, this car came to life. Jimmie Johnson, his team committed themselves to the bottom of this racetrack, and it's really working out for him right now, Brad.
That is a great point, Dale. They've gone to the bottom. They're taking the shortest way around the track. But I'll tell you what, Kyle Busch is the fastest car on this racetrack. I think Jimmie may be just riding a little bit, but they're flying.
And Johnson has finished in the top 3 in 5 of his 9 races here. And Dale, the 22 is backing out.
Yeah, just as we talked earlier, as you get later in this race, you turn more RPMs. It's harder on the engines, and so it looks like that he may have an engine problem here. And this is really big because they were sitting there right on that bubble for the top 35. So they're battling with the 21 car, and this could be really hurt their chances tonight.
And Ryan Newman may be out of the chase tonight. Let's check in now with Jamie.
And tonight could have been a big night, and it ended up being a bad night. Ryan, different night, but same place. We ended up here last night in the Busch race, but what happened? Did this have anything to do with what we saw last night in the motor?
No, nothing compared to yesterday. Something let go in the engine. We had a spark plug problem yesterday, but today something let go, and I don't think it had anything to do when I spun. I kicked it out of gear and kept the motor running, so I know we have nothing spun backwards in the Kodak Dodge in the engine at least, but disappointing day for us. We had a competitive car. That was nice, but so much for the chase hopes now.
So where does that put you mentally, knowing that you guys are eliminated from the chase from here on out?
Really the same place as I was before. I still try as hard as I can each and every lap, no matter what. Couldn't expect to make up as much as we did, and it would have been a miraculous effort in these last 2 races, but nevertheless, we'll just keep trying. We got 11 more races to go. Get this Altel Mobile Kodak Dodge in victory lane.
All right, guys, Ryan Newman is out, but he's not defeated mentally. Doc?
Thank you, Jamie. Battle back here, the 5 and the 31. That is for position. That's for second spot. As Jeff Burton takes that spot away, and on the left side of your screen, you see the 8 car. It just sailed back by the 17. That is for the 5th spot.
Well, things are starting to change right now. Jimmie Johnson's car is starting to fall off in speed like we saw earlier. We saw him really take off and get a big lead, but now his times are going away. And the 5 car, Kyle Busch, is doing pretty good, but Jeff Burton just had the fastest lap that time by, and he's starting to work the bottom of the track again now.
Let's take a look at our sprint speed lap here on the 31 car of Jeff Burton. Last lap, he was 169.149. Look at the leader. Look at Jimmie Johnson's last lap. I mean, Burton is flying.
Yeah, Burton's definitely got it going right now, and we're getting deep in this race. 46 laps to go. He's got his car handling every bit as good as he had last night in the Busch race when he won, and you can see him catching Jimmie Johnson right now.
And Jimmie Johnson's fighting hard here with this 11 car, Denny Hamlin, and it's probably holding him up just a little bit. So the combination of that and Jeff Burton's car handling well here at the end of the race has got this big time difference in lap speed.
Well, Denny Hamlin's 1 lap down right now, guys. He's fighting for the lucky dog. He's driving his brains out to get back on the lead lap, and that's the reason he's roughing up Jimmie Johnson so much. So Denny Hamlin had a little flat left rear tire. Had to come in for that.
Jimmie Johnson, the leader. Jeff Burton is coming in a hurry. 45 laps to go to settle it here at California Speedway. Our NASCAR Nextel Cup at California coverage is being presented by Principal Financial Group. We'll give you an edge. By Goodyear, innovative technology to help you get there. By the U.S. Department of Transportation. And by Sprint, featuring NASCAR Nextel Cup Series updates at Sprint Speed.
Jeff Gordon on pit road now after that lap 179 wreck. Pretty much out of contention. They were running that same strategy Tony Stewart was trying. Stay out as long as we can. That's our best shot, according to crew chief Steve Letarte. Very loose race car, hard to drive. They made a chassis and air pressure adjustment to try to keep Jeff on the track for the rest of the day.
Jeff Gordon exiting pit road, trying to get down pit road. And I remind you that NHRA Powerade Series, Mac Tools U.S. Nationals Finals coming your way tomorrow noon Eastern Time. And, of course, tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Each Labor Day weekend, NHRA, the fans descend on O'Reilly Raceway Park in Indianapolis for the biggest, oldest, and richest event of the NHRA season. Mac Tools U.S. Nationals coming your way starting tomorrow. Tony Stewart is our leader, and if you just joined our coverage, they've changed about everything but the sponsor and the number on this car on pit road a little while ago to get the car to where Tony could drive it, and it certainly paid off, but they're rolling the dice a little bit now on the fuel.
Well, he's got the track position right now. He's leading the race, and pretty shortly we probably have to come down pit road because Jimmy Johnson is out there in 4th position right now, running 1 second faster than Tony Stewart and really cutting it down. He's only 10 seconds behind Tony right now. So Tony's just nursing this Home Depot car around the track right now, holding on, just waiting for a caution.
Let's ride along with our Wrangler telemetry on board here, Andy, and look at the RPMs that Tony's still turning here late in a fuel run.
Yeah, you see how fast these guys run down the straightaway, 200 miles an hour entering the corner. And they don't slow down a whole lot in the corners because they're so big and wide. And so the RPM only drops down to 6100 you see right there. That's why it's so hard on engines here.
Give a call to this crew, the 84 car. That is A.J. Allmendinger. They are having one heck of a night here as these guys are finally trying to be able to get a chance to run some laps. Dave?
And a pretty good race car all night for AJ. Put tires on it every time they had an opportunity. They're having a little trouble on the right side. He's now off of pit road. He was trying that same strategy too. Maybe if we stay out, we can catch everybody a lap down. Didn't happen for him. The main thing for him, laps. That's why he ran the Busch race last night until the big wreck late in the going. And that's why he's on the track today. He actually credited the Busch race practice for getting him into this race. He said that gave me confidence when qualifying came around to get on this hot, greasy racetrack and put this car in the field. It's been a good run.
He's getting some experience making pit stops too. We saw him make a little bit of a rookie mistake getting in the pits and getting there sideways, not really too close to the wall for the pit crew guys to get on the left side. So they made it happen and got him out. You see, he's trying to get in here hot, trying to save as much time as possible. Slides those front tires, and when they're sliding, they won't turn. Gets up next to the wall. The crew guys really reacted well here and got him back out without any problems. Jackman had just a little bit of trouble there on that wall. Front tire changer didn't have much room to work with. This is things that this guy will learn as he gets more and more experience and makes more and more stops.
Well, Jackman had to give some extra pumps to get that thing up because he just couldn't get that jack handle all the way down because that wall was in the way. But I do like what he said about running the Busch race because there's some great drivers out there that can't get these cars qualified because they just need more time on the track, and it really helped A.J. Allmendinger by running that Busch race.
Tony Stewart, we are being told, should come on the pit road this time by. Stewart trying to hold on as long as he could.
47, here we come.
Now, this was Tony Stewart's worst case scenario. He needed that caution. Now he's lost a ton of track position to Jimmy Johnson, and we should kind of hope for the best now.
Let's go down to Mike Massaro.
Well, Doc, since making the shock adjustment and the sway bar adjustment, Tony Stewart said the car has been 1,000% better. Very happy with it. Unfortunately, though, this gamble will not pay off. He's on pit road right now. He gives up his track position as the team goes to work. They're going to make a slight chassis adjustment as well as a 4-tire change on the 20 car. They're done on the right side now. Left side service begins. The car's being jacked up and the 2 tires being bolted on, and he is finally away.
Another good pit stop of 14.3. We've been seeing these mid-14-second stops all night long, and boy, Andy, these crew guys are really in good shape. I mean, they practice this stuff like crazy. Pretty impressive.
What's more impressive is it's 95 degrees out there still. These guys have been pumping these jacks and hitting those air wrenches all night long.
Here's Casey Mears from nearby Bakersfield, California, making what should be his final pit stop. He was the leader as he heads down pit road. Alan?
Well, Andy Peach would know if you don't have the car that's running up front contending for the win, what do you do? You try to engineer a strategy that can steal a win away. They were hoping they pitted at lap 180, but a lot of the other front runners did not. race, they'd get a caution, and everyone would pit. That would gain them some track position and allow them a chance to race for the win. Obviously, we stayed green. It didn't work out. So Casey Mears will pit here and give up his spot at the head of the pack.
20 to go, Jim. 20 to go.
Yeah, if you don't have a car to win, sometimes you try to just any kind of strategy to make it happen or steal one, as they say. And I've had plenty of them stole for me, and I've stole a few myself.
Well, right now, Carl Edwards has got a fast car. Jimmy Johnson's holding on. It's starting to happen again to him. His car's starting to slow up. Kyle Busch is faster than Jimmy Johnson, but Carl Edwards is faster than the 5 car of Kyle Busch. So this is going to be a shootout. 16 laps to go. But Jimmy's got a pretty good lead, but he's starting to get run down now.
Like Carl Edwards ran completely down the apron through that corner.
Good, I need to stay tighten up.
Dale, I'll tell you what, the 48 car Johnson, I mean, the same thing keeps happening to him. A little while ago, he had like a 3-second lead. Now it's down to 1.8 over Kyle Busch. But take a look at those lap times down there. I mean, Edwards is flying.
Yeah, Carl Edwards is really coming on right now. He's got a set of tires that looks like really is working for him. Jimmy Johnson, the thing about leading the race right now is, yeah, he's fast on new tires, but now he's encountering a lot of traffic also. And it depends on where you catch that traffic if you can run the line that you want to. And so this is going to really get interesting. I wasn't sure that we were going to have an interesting finish, but I think Carl Edwards and probably even Kyle Busch are going to make this a 3-way battle, and we're going to really have something exciting.
Well, Brad, I'll tell you, the 99 car just got past the 5 car Kyle Busch, and that last time by, John Johnson is just slowing down more and more yet.
Well, Carl Edwards is definitely coming. The question I have is how hard is Jimmy Johnson driving the race car? I mean, is he, when he gets the competition level that it creeps up to him, maybe he drives a little bit harder. I know there's nothing to save with only 14 laps to go, but maybe he's just taking care of those race tires and waiting, keeping enough distance between himself and his competitors to give himself a chance to win here. But they are definitely gaining on him.
Important for these guys to be able to clinch a spot in the chase tonight. You do not want this to go to Richmond and have to worry about surviving on the action track at Richmond. Jimmy Johnson needed to finish 37th or better. Right now he's first. Anything can happen on the final 14 laps. Jeff Burton needed to finish 35th to clinch a spot. Kyle Busch 25th. And Clint Bowyer needed to finish 2nd or better. He's back in 19th position. So right now, 3 of those 4 would clinch a spot in the chase, which means we would have 8 drivers in the chase. Of course, going into Richmond. A little bit of a wiggle back there for the 31 car. And by the way, Jimmy Johnson's 5th win would put him at the top of all those drivers that are in the chase in terms of bonus points when the chase would begin. 31 car had a bit of a wiggle, Dave.
Yep, and he's been having some struggles here at the end, just doing everything in the world that he can do to try to finish this race further forward, but it's been a handful for him. And Burton is, there he is right now, talking on the radio.
Holy crap, all I can do is just all I can do. I just gotta hope it stays long and it stays off for us. It's so loose right now. That's all I can do.
And that is a frustrating thing, Rusty, when the car is just not able to run as fast as you can and you're driving your heart out.
Well, he is just holding on to that thing for dear life right now. He's using the whole racetrack up, and as Dale knows, he's putting very little steering input into it, Dale. I mean, this car is real sideways, but it's fast right now.
Yeah, it really is. But, Rusty, at this point in time in the race, you want a fast race car, you're running your fastest lap, but you're tired. They've been out here for over 3.5 hours now battling these race cars in intense heat, and now he's having to fight a loose race car. So he's got a good grip on that steering wheel.
And speaking of fighting, Brad and DJ, how about this 8 car? If you're Dale Earnhardt Jr., you have driven your heart out tonight knowing you had to do the equivalent of a motorsports Hail Mary to get your car in the chase. He is back in 5th position with 11 laps to go. He's really not gained a lot here. Still 128 points away from the chase.
Doc, but you really have to give him a pat on the back. This whole Bud team has really worked extremely hard. And like I said, Tony Uri Jr. told me earlier today, he said, Brad, we may be out of this thing, but I'll tell you what, we're going to work until the last flag is thrown and get the most out of this race team. And he's proud of the effort. And I'll tell you what, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he drove the soul out of that race car tonight, Dale.
Yeah, not only tonight, but these other races where they got behind, he had himself in position anyway. He was running in the top 5 of those races where they had an engine problem. So let's give him credit. He has driven his heart out in every single race. So we talk about tonight, you can't put it on just one time. He's done his job in the driver's seat every single week. So,
guys, I really got to he's probably going to try to win all the races he can and look forward to his new ride next year.
Yeah, you would think they want to put a period on the end of this year. It's been a tumultuous year, a lot going on, and just really, really difficult time. But they've all handled it extremely well. And I think you're right, Rusty. I think they'd like to close the door on this deal and move on.
Well, look who's sneaking in this picture right now, the 99 of Carl Edwards. He is not much faster the time before, but this last lap, 3/10 faster than Jimmy Johnson. And that 99 car is starting to look a lot bigger in Jimmy's mirror right now.
Carl Edwards, who is the NASCAR Busch Series points leader by a wide margin, trying to get this car into the chase. And how about maybe winning 2 championships, winning a Busch and Cup titles? He's hanging on here for the final 9 laps. Jamie.
And Carl Edwards knows exactly what lap times he's turning, whether he's in the back or running up front. But right now his team is telling him, you're the fastest man on the racetrack. Carl came over the radio and said, you need to move that car out ahead of me. That 83, I believe it's the 83, told him to move him out of the way. So they were going down to the pit to talk to the guys to ask him to move on over. You guys can see from better up there. I know it's not the 83.
You know, I mentioned earlier in the pre-race show, Dale, I said the fittest guy was going to win this race, and I said Jimmy Johnson had a great chance. I totally forgot about Carl Edwards. He may be the fittest guy on the planet, and you can see right now he's up on the wheel, he's in the seat tight, he's coming hard.
Yeah, it's hard to forget about him. This man works out constantly, and he's showing right now exactly what that's worth on the racetrack. And we talk about the shortest way around the racetrack that Jimmy Johnson was taking on the bottom of the track, where Carl Edwards was just on the apron, so I guess he's found even a shorter way around yet.
Now, you guys, I tell you, talk about all that working out stuff. I know you got to be healthy, but I've never seen him make the car handle any better.
Spoken like a guy who never lifted a weight in his life.
I really haven't. I was paying attention to my car. You know, if I was in better shape, I probably could have run faster. But Andy, 99 car, every lap by, he's on the bottom, looking underneath the white line a little while ago.
We've seen him high, we've seen him low, we saw him run completely on the apron there a few laps. But you can't tell me this is the hottest race of the year by far that we've run, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the 2 fittest guys in the field are up front.
Well, I'm not going to argue that point, that's for sure. Jimmy Johnson's in incredible shape, and so is Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards, who won at Bristol, Tennessee. And how tough is that racetrack physically and mentally on the driver? Carl Edwards came to the front there and stayed, picking up his 2nd win of the year. Last week, can he get back-to-back wins? Can he get back-to-back championships? Can he win a Busch title and a Cup title in the same year? But right now, it's this guy here, Jimmy Johnson. What a week he had, coming back to his hometown of El Cajon, California.
Right now, the 99 car's not catching him much. He really was running Jimmy down for a good while. It's kind of stabilized right now. That last lap, about a 1/10 of a second faster. The guys with 6 laps to go, Dale. Getting there and passing him, that's 2 different things.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be able to get there. It looked a while ago that Jimmy Johnson was slowing down some, that maybe he had worn his tires out. But, you know, I think they brought up a good point a while ago. Was he holding back a little bit? And, you know, he might have been holding back just a little bit. You know, last week, I think some people talked about David Reagan bringing out a few cautions at Bristol, which is a very difficult place. But let's give him credit tonight. He's done a terrific job here. He's the highest running rookie tonight. And this is a young man that has a lot of talent. And as he gets more time in these cars, he's going to learn how to finish races off and be up front and eventually start winning these.
Yeah, I totally agree, DJ. David Reagan, a 2nd-generation driver. His dad, a Cup and ARCA veteran. Now working building race cars and building Legends cars in Charlotte. 4 laps to go here to the checkered flag.
Right now, we got 17 cars on the lead lap. Greg Biffle in the 17th position. And it's a race between Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards. That time by Jimmy Johnson, a faster lap by a 1/10 of a second. So, Andy, you got to know that Jimmy Johnson knows this guy's behind him, and he's just driving every single lap like it's a qualifying lap.
I guarantee you, he and Carl Edwards are driving as hard as they can. These 10 bonus points that they get for winning these races right now are going to pay off in that chase, and they know it. They're trying to go as hard as they can to get them. And Jimmy Johnson and his team has done a great job. Got to hand it to Chad Canals to keeping his team rallied up front all night.
About 100 laps ago, Mike Massaro told us during a pit stop that Chad Canals guaranteed these guys were going to win this race. I mean, I said that's pretty gutsy to make that kind of guarantee 100 laps away from the checkered flag. But by heck, you know, with 3 laps to go, they may just pull it off.
Every sport's about confidence, and you can't win unless you're confident. And this sport's no different. He's trying to just rally these guys up. He was very confident his team could do it.
3 laps to go.
Brad?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Andy. I talked to Chad last week at Bristol, and he said, we haven't run here that well in the past, but we've got a good race car, and we've got the attitude to get a win tonight. He was so excited, and they were really disappointed with their 24th place finish, but they come back into here, Dale, and I tell you, they're right back up on the wheel, right back up on the game.
Yeah, we might see that they're 6th in the points right now, but after next week with this win tonight, if they go on here in the next lap and get this victory, they're going to be at the top of the standings.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, he's back. Let's go back to the booth.
2 laps to go. Chad Knaus writes out of your screen. It's all about confidence and leadership, and he's got both in hand there for the 48 car of Jimmie Johnson. He led his driver to a Nextel Cup title in 2006. He told his crew, we're going to win it here tonight. He told them 100 laps ago they're going to win it tonight. Jimmie Johnson, the young man from El Cajon, California, came back to his hometown this week for a charitable golf tournament. A celebrity golf tournament and a charity auction to raise money for Habitat for Humanity for San Diego. He's inducted into the Hall of Fame at his high school. First time he's been back since 1993. And now on the final lap at California Speedway, Jimmie Johnson, the California kid, is going to do something he wanted to do here for a long time, coming home. Not only to visit the family and friends, but to go to Victory Lane at California Speedway. He has not won since May 6th, race number 10 at Richmond. But guess what? Tonight at California Speedway, race number 25, Jimmie Johnson takes the victory.
He did a nice job, brother.
Carl Edwards finishes second, Kyle Busch is third, Jeff Burton fourth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishing fifth overall. He will be 128 points out of 12th position headed to the final race.
Going into the chase. Jimmie Johnson, you're the man. Good job. Good job.
Jimmie Johnson picks up his 5th win of the year, clinches a spot in the chase, and right now he would get the top seed in the chase for the Nextel Cup. Dave.
With Chad Knaus, who a Namath-like prediction halfway through this race that we're going to win. I guess that came true.
Well, sometimes you got to make those predictions just to get everybody motivated in the right direction. And, I just couldn't be proud of everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. This car was actually wrecked in Chicago 4 weeks ago, where it probably should have won that race. And everybody at Hendrick Motorsports really chipped in, did a great job working on this car, getting new body, new front clip, new rear clip on it, getting the thing turned around. It's great to be able to win it for Hendrick Motorsports, Lowe's, and obviously the Jimmie Johnson Foundation, which just did a great job this week with almost $500,000 in donations to great charities. It's been a great weekend for everybody.
And the guy who motivates this team so much now has a little more motivation for them going into the chase, 10 more bonus points. And as you mentioned, Doc, top seed now.
Home track, California, he's going to burn it down here.
Jimmie Johnson, now one of 8 drivers that have clinched a spot in the chase to the Nextel Cup.
And he's begun climbing from the car, and what a homecoming weekend for Jimmie Johnson, a true Golden State Warrior. Grew up south of here in El Cajon, California, and now picks up his 2nd career California victory. But you had to work for this one. Your car was not perfect at the beginning. How much did you need to search around to find that right line that really suited your race car?
Well, the confetti machine works. We can see that. It just was a long night. The track was changing. The 5 car and some guys to make the top work really good, and I just couldn't make it work long enough. I get a couple good laps, but I really focused on the bottom, and it paid off.
With the win, you now know that you will have at least a share of the #1 seed in the chase. How satisfying is that?
It's very satisfying. The season's all about a championship, especially when you get in the chase. We're fortunate to be in that situation, and it's time for the pressure to pick up. It's time for the hard work to start, and my guys are ready for it. Today showed it, and I can't thank Lowe's enough for letting me run the Jimmie Johnson Foundation logos on the car this weekend. To win here after a big tournament and everything we had this week, the foundation sticker on the side is a special day. So thanks to all the employee owners at Lowe's as well. It's been a few months since we won, and it's good to be back. And Carl Edwards is saying hello.
Guys, there's certainly will be a lot of pressure on Jimmie Johnson, but he is the defending Nextel Cup Series champion, and it certainly appears he's peaking at the right time. Doc?
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed